So I think today we live in a crisis of love. I think a lot of us are particularly frustrated, confused, almost angry at the status of love today. And I don't actually think that these frustrations come from a lack of understanding or a lack of knowledge of love. In fact, quite the opposite. I think it comes from our haste in assuming that we know more about love than we actually do. That love means to write letters, to give flowers, chocolates, to celebrate St. Valentine's Day, to spend a certain amount of money on a wedding ring, to have a spring wedding, all the stereotypes that we associate with love. What if I were to tell you that love is actually far more intertwined in our daily lives than we may initially anticipate? That love explains virtue, courage, honor, politics, community, art, completion. There's one thing that I can show you today. It's that what it means to be a human being and to love are one and the same. Now, I've become particularly interested in the philosophy, the ideas of love, because I think today we're aware that something needs to change, especially when it comes to masculinity and what it means to love. I think today we are understanding that what it means to be a man and to love needs to shift. And I think that as we look forward to the relationship, the redefining of our relationship with love, I actually think that we should start by looking back, way back, to Plato's Symposium. See, Plato's Symposium, an ancient Greek text, follows a group of 6 speakers consisting of poets, authors, public speakers, philosophers, and even scientists, as they each take turns in giving speeches in the name of appraisal of Eros, the god of love. And each one has their own take, their own ideas of what love means. And the first speaker, Phaedrus, claims that Eros is the greatest of all gods, that he's the oldest of the gods, and responsible for all of the greatest gifts to mankind. And for Phaedrus, love is also political. It explains virtue. It explains why, out of love for our country and the standards that it gives us, we wish to achieve the ideal citizen. And the second speech, given by Pausanias, claims that there are different types of love. There's the lust, the physical attraction that we feel towards people, and then the spiritual, deeper love that we feel with a certain amount of people in our lives. The third speech, given by Eryximachus, gives a scientific outlook on love and claims that love is actually intertwined into the very fabric of the universe, and that it explains the natural order that we see in the world. That love explains the perfect balance that we find ourselves in today. That in between constant death and divine immortality, we and our world exists. And medicine and science is therefore a way of preserving this perfect balance between death and immortality. Out of love for ourselves and the world, science and knowledge attempts to understand it better. And the next speech, given by Aristophanes, gives a bizarre account of an ancient man to explain love, and almost an ancestor to mankind. That before us there was this species that consisted of 2 people conjoined together who had 2 sets of legs, 2 sets of arms, 2 heads. Thus, they had twice the width, twice the strength, twice the speed. And with this strength, this ancestor to mankind attacked the gods. And in an angry fit, Zeus split these beings in half to punish them and rearranged its parts so that we look the way we do today. So for Aristophanes, love is this tragic longing that we feel to be completed again. That love is this desire to find the person that was taken from us out of punishment from the gods. He's talking about our soulmate. And the next speaker, Agathon, gives a beautiful account of the beauty and greatness of love, of Eros, and claims that Eros is entirely good, entirely beautiful, and is incapable of having any negative aspects at all. And thus, everything that is beautiful and good in this world is explained because of Eros. And the final speech, given by Socrates, gives multiple different accounts and ideas of what love means, but I'd like to focus on one in particular. And it's this idea that our souls are capable of becoming pregnant with love and beauty. And after becoming pregnant, our souls are capable of giving birth to this love and beauty. So for Socrates, the things that we create in this world, art, ideas, books, buildings, politics, it's all a manifestation of the love and beauty that we all have within us. For Socrates, our bodies and souls are the vessels of which the divine concept of love can be created in this world. In a way, we are the foot soldiers of love. We create it, and we defend it. Now, I know I just threw a lot at you there, a lot of different definitions, concepts of what love means, but I actually think that this is a good thing. One of the great benefits of Plato's writing is that he prevents the reader from taking a specific or dogmatic opinion on this topic he's discussing. He forces you to think. And ironically, in an attempt to narrow down the nature of love, the nature of eros, to define what it means, they've actually complicated it quite a bit. And maybe even revealed that love has a part in every single aspect of our lives. And in spite of the confusion and inconsistencies between the speakers, they all indirectly agree that love is at the core of what it means to be a human being. They just take different approaches to that truth. That it's not good enough for love to reside within us. It's not good enough for love to remain an idea in our heads. There's something innate in our human nature that almost forces us, out of borderline punishment, to externalize this love and participate in it. It's why we're so obsessed with love. And if we take these lessons that love explains politics, virtue, ideas, knowledge, community, culture, art, poetry, pain, suffering, and even hope, then love isn't complicated because it's difficult to understand. It's not difficult because it's impossible to find a single definition. Love is difficult because it's inseparable from who we are as human beings. We have such a deep, innate, intimate relationship with love that I think oftentimes we've learned to look past it, to assume that it's not there, to take love's presence as for granted. And I think it's time that we begin to retrain ourselves to see love the way that the Greeks did many years ago. And reject this idea that love is an escape from reality, that love is irrational, that love is not who we are, or worst of all, that you are incapable of love. And begin to accept the fact that maybe, just maybe, love is our reality. And I promise you that if you start to think of love the way that the Greeks did all those years ago, you will begin to understand, and most importantly, feel the way that love actually does guide you on a day-to-day basis. Now, I don't want you leaving this room feeling overwhelmed about the status of love, to think that you cannot live up to the standard of which the Greeks have presented to you, to think that you need to go home and rethink every single aspect of your lives, retrain the way you love. That's not the point of what I want you to understand. That's not what I think the Greeks want you to understand. What I need you to know is that for a simple fact of being a human being on this earth today, you are already an expert in love, and that it's only a matter of seeing what is already there. Thank you.